I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't
God.
that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Bowers are trying to center. Back it goes. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Bowers. That is up the middle, base hit. Hamilton will score. Yelich to third. That's a big insurance run for the Brewers.
Boy, a huge hit for Bryce Durant.
Ground ball right side, base hit. That scores one. Here comes Sal. Two are in. Massive hit from Christian Yelich. Churio dead center. It's way back. And it is off the top of the wall. Yelich coming around third. He will score. And that one right back up the gut. Churio coming around third. Another run for the Brewers. Slips it into left. There is Churio. Ball game. 8-3 Brewers. They take down the Giants tonight.
What's her name from Finding Nemo? Dory?
Dory. Mm-hmm.
Just keep winning.
Mm-hmm. Just keep winning.
And just keep striking dudes out. Kyle Harrison. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Happy New Year to some. Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Big announcement from them yesterday. Go Pack Go.
Mm-hmm.
John Kuhn. There in person.
Yep.
Audio courtesy of Brewers TV. What a night for the crew. What a run they're on. 7 of the last 8. 8 runs for the Brewers last night. 3 for the Giants. Another W in the win column. And 12 strikeouts for the now 7-1 Kyle Harrison. Thank you, Caleb Durbin.
Mm-hmm. Man, what a trade, huh?
Huh? In the moment. Huh? Now?
Anyone want to take back any feelings about that trade?
Only those that are on a recording every day that stick their foot in their mouth when stuff like this happens.
Oh.
But hey, no jinxing allowed.
That's right.
Time to play catch up.
Packers.
Business as usual, says head coach Matt LaFleur. I think it's anything other than usual,
Mm-hmm.
but it is business.
Now, that was his statement after we found out that Jacobs was going to be back. He is back at practice.
He is here at OTAs, and it is business as usual. We talked yesterday with Matt Schneidman about, okay, and ironically, Schneid was the one that asked the question, and he got information. And then you knew the locker room was open, and there would be a lot more information shared there. We have audio courtesy of WBAY-TV and our friend Dave Schrader from Jordan Love, Xavier McKinney, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and there is they all have his back is the best way to put this, and they all know the details, and they're all keeping it quiet. Here's QB1.
Yeah, we've talked internally. Everyone knows what the situation is there, and we've talked. But obviously, the details are, we're keeping that. Everybody's keeping that under wraps right now, just out of respect for the situation and obviously all the legal stuff that's going to be playing out. But it's great to have Josh here with us, be able to work with us and get back to work.
So it's yes and.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we know the details. We're keeping it quiet, and it was good to have him back here. Xavier McKinney has his back.
That's my guy. So I didn't really know too much until obviously it came out, but we all in support of him. And we understand things happen. Like, I get things happen, but we all in support of him.
Okay, that one was weird to me, if I may. We understand things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And they know the details.
Right. This is and there's more. We have more, but this is what happens when you open up the locker room to media availability and the statement isn't exactly the same from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can go in there as the PR team for practice and go, "Hey guys, all right. We know some of you guys are going to get asked about the elephant in the room. I'm going to write this on a chalkboard. Here's your answer. Memorize it, say it, we move on. You don't do that, and you just say, we support him. Okay, good. Sure, they say that, but that's not all they say.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Isn't that the saying? Like,
that's it.
Hey, guys, here's what we'd like you to say. Now, ready, break. Christian Watson. Here's what he had to say.
And you get to know, a teammate in the locker room, and it's just, hard to, see stuff like that. But, like I said, just, wait to pass judgment on anything until, all the facts come out.
Okay, so not everybody knows the same facts, it sounds like, or they're just choosing their words carefully?
Yeah, right. It seems like it's all coming from the same idea, but everyone was handed a different piece of paper saying it a different way.
Yeah. One more. Here's Jaden Reed.
Man, we just supporting him, man. It's not my place to really speak on too much, but he's got our support. He's got everybody's support here. We got his back.
Okay, so a lot of support.
We got his backs.
We got his backs. Yep. A lot of we don't know all the details. We have to let the process play out. Yada yada. Now, here's my question. In this scenario, first off, awkward. Secondly, it might be business as usual. And that is crazy town to say out loud. But here's a guy who was arrested, not charged, released, and went back to work.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Right. So on paper, right, it is that simple. It is wild in 2026 in a humongous sport that is that simple. But this definitely said to me, the Packers had to have done or figured out something, right? Like, there's no way. I shouldn't say there's no way, but I would be stunned if it turned out that the way that you just described that is exactly how it went down, with the Packers going, yep, get him back out there. Let people talk. I cannot see the Packers organization saying, yeah, that's fine. Oh, he's not in jail anymore? Okay. Yep. He can come back to practice. Sure. Like, I don't, there had to have been more due diligence, more communication between the Packers and the DA's office, even if the DA didn't come out with a statement saying something. Like, all of these reactions from these players and LaFleur saying he hasn't been a distraction, it's back to business as usual, to me screams they know more than we know.
And their hands could also be tied. There are contracts, there are players' union agreements, there are standards and so on. And when they all say, let the legal process play out, that leads me to believe that they really can't do anything in this moment, whether they wanted to or not, based on the legal process and contracts and bonuses for OTA appearances and all the things that go into this that makes it anything other than business as usual.
Yeah. That's a fair point, but I still feel like if that's the case, the tone in the players' responses, the way that it wasn't a blanket statement, they were essentially just, the idea was the same, but what they said was not the same from player to player. It all kind of screamed to me like, yeah, the more news will come out to the public, but we're good to go, which is crazy.
It is crazy. And if you're Trey Smack, the new kicker, you're really glad all that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Because
if you're Josh Jacobs, you're also glad that Trey Smack had a day.
Wow, 5 of 9. Now, Rob Demoski from ESPN on Twitter/X yesterday said it was into a strong crosswind.
I don't care.
Well, yeah, I know. And it's real. He was wide left from 35, wide left from 38, good from 40, wide left from 42. If you're following along, that's 1 for 4. Good from 43, wide right from 46, good from 47, good from 48. Uh-oh.
Well, how did Brandon McManus do in practice yesterday?
Oh, no, he got released.
Oh.
No kicking competition necessary, Josh.
Oh, so there's no one else, competing for the job against Smack just in case the kid just gets to the bigs and it doesn't work out. We don't have another guy in there?
Not at this time.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be something? They pay Brandon McManus $1 million and do good by him releasing him when they did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boss. We're moving on with Trey Smack. You've got your off season here to go find a new home. We appreciate all you did for us.
Mm-hmm.
A few moments later, 5 of 9 in OTAs. And they ain't calling Brandon McManus back.
No.
But if they don't have someone else, I'd be shocked.
And here's the thing. I don't need people on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line at 6:12 this morning getting on me saying, it was the first day. It was OTAs. Okay, give the kid a break. He's just, yeah, I know. But what this does is it should open people's eyes that we don't know. There's still a lot of unanswered questions about Trey Smack and how he's going to be. It's not a guarantee that he's the next Mason Crosby. So I'm just telling people, while he might absolutely figure it out and it could have been an off day and who knows, and maybe he's perfect all season long, it's something to think about. And the fact that there's no one else at OTAs but him is questionable for sure.
And it's early.
Yes.
And they're not required practice. Like, let's use all the excuses we can right now to make us feel better.
Sure. But let's also live in realism for a second and go, that also could have been a sign. We just don't know.
I don't like it. Brewers.
Like that.
Realism is not a place for me.
Yeah, I know.
Brewers 8, Giants 3. That's real. 7 of the last 8 for the Brewers and 12 strikeouts for Kyle Harrison.
Going to make the move, and Kyle Harrison will leave to a standing ovation here in Milwaukee. I mean, another whale of an effort. Tied a career high with 12 strikeouts.
I was told there would be no math, but I think that's good.
That is good. And you could tell that both he and the team and Murph wanted him to get through 6, right? They bring him back out. He just can't get that last out. Willie Adames goes yard, and then he gives up a hit, and it goes, all right. Murph goes, no, that's it. All right, good showing. He also had, 106 pitches, and I think in the first inning he had a bunch. He had like 25 or so in the first inning as well. So for him to still go 6, give up that one shot to Willie, I mean, still a great day with 12 Ks for Harrison. And I kind of like that we got to see that, right? Because he still pitched amazing, even having to face some adversity to start the game. I mean, if you saw Miz or anyone else go out there and throw almost 30 pitches in the first inning, you're going, oh boy, all right, going to be a short night for him. I'll get that bullpen warmed up. They're going to be carrying it from the 4th on. Nope. He settles back in. He goes 106 through almost 6 full.
And it reminded me of first inning Freddie. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Oh boy, here we go. And then he settles in.
Well, but he didn't even give up a run like Freddie would have. Freddie usually gave up a home run. He didn't. Yeah. He didn't give up a run early on. He just had to go through a lot of pitches. They made him work early.
But if there was a pitcher in our past that kind of had the yips in the first, it was Freddie.
Sure.
It seemed to always be Freddie. Unfortunately for Aaron Ashby, Kyle Harrison got the win.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. I'm sure that was weird for him.
I would be like, hey, bro, don't you understand? This is what I do. I would have really liked my, 10th win if he would have got the win.
Murph, why are you calling me up? This isn't a win opportunity for me. What's going on?
But look at how the pen shook out. Kyle Harrison, Aaron Ashby, Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill. 8 runs from the offense. That is about as solid of a game as the Brewers can play. On a Would You Rather Wednesday, which one would you rather have? 16 runs and no bombs, or 2 runs with 1 bomb, and that's it? Or would you have a game like this? 8-3. Everybody's hitting well for the most part. The pitching is on point. And that's about as solid of a baseball game as the Brewers can play. Oh, by the way, the Giants had 3 errors, but
yeah. Well, so that's the big point I want to make. First of all, to answer your would you rather question, the answer is yes. I would like them.
Sure. Well, you're going to have to choose one coming up later in the show.
Okay. For now, I don't. But, the big thing that I've noticed in the last couple games was the defensive issues for the Giants. And, like, that Churio double in the 8th that was off the wall. He was there. Like the outfielder literally jumped too high. Like it hit the bottom of his glove. And I'm going, if that happens with Churio in the outfield and Churio makes that type of play, we're mad. We're going, you got to catch that ball. There was another one where the guy chose his health over catching that Bryce Terang ended up being a triple in the game before.
Business decision.
Right. Where we're going, okay, but if Churio does that, we're going, you were there. You got to catch that ball. It's just a reminder that we don't always, we take for granted a lot the defensive skills of this Brewers team as well.
And yet, a W. And that's how we move on. Another game tonight, 6:40. And then tomorrow, the last one at home against the Giants in this 4-game stand at 1:10 before they are off to Colorado. And then they play those 3 games in Vegas. I may or may not have checked flights.
Of course.
Anything new with the Badgers?
Badgers.
What were you going to say? Sorry.
I was going to say nothing happening. No one's partying in Vegas this morning either. So nothing happened last night.
You tell me that game 1 of the NBA Finals is going to look or feel anything like that. I'll wait.
I don't know that I can. I can tell you this. I watched it.
Stanley?
I watched a hockey game.
For that last goal in a 4-4 tie, Badgers, nothing. For that last goal in the 4-4 tie to come in with 3-some minutes left and go 5-4, and that's the way to end it. But there again, there was a centering pass with seconds left. And if anybody from Carolina on an empty net would have been there, we would not be having the same conversation because I would have went to bed and been mad that I missed whatever happened in overtime.
Well, so that was my question is like, because I don't have I don't care who wins the series. It being at home when they had an opportunity to down 5-4 with like a minute and a half, I was like, oh, come on, tied up, get that crowd going. And then it just kind of to silence. And I went, oh, man.
I think there was 12 seconds left when that happened. And I'm telling you, the whatever the middle of the ice is called in hockey was wide open. There were 4 Golden Knights kind of around that area and not a single Hurricane in sight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh, man, there it was. Dang. Is game 1, nothing with the Badgers. Bucks?
Yeah.
Bucks.
So game 1's tonight of the NBA Finals.
Yes.
Right? Knicks, Spurs in New York. That was off the top of my head.
Look at you.
I know.
Definitely in San Antonio, but
100%.
Yep.
I rest my case, Your
But
Honor.
it is tonight. You got
I
that
have
part
an
right.
excuse from last night.
You got the teams,
dude,
and
and
the day that the game was played.
50-50 shot on the location.
Yeah. two out of 3 ain't bad.
Do I have to watch?
Yes. Come on. It could be fun.
What is Giannis up to?
Well, he's not playing in the NBA Finals.
I got it.
That we know. But news did come out yesterday. A different video of a YouTuber from a YouTube page called The School of Hard Knocks. Okay. And before I play this clip, I want to stress this is one of these YouTubers that goes around and talks to people that have become millionaires and billionaires and asks them their life story, essentially, and to find out and kind of hey, you could be this too. Here's how this guy came to make his fortune.
We also don't know when this was recorded.
1,000%, which I will be stressing to everyone after the clip. So this guy ends up coming to Milwaukee, talking to Giannis. This isn't just a schmuck. Like the guy's got like 2 million followers on YouTube. It's a very successful page. But within the whole clip, this was one part.
Well, this is one of your businesses.
So yeah, this is one of my businesses. I think they have a lot of restaurants. I think one in New York, one in Chicago, I think one in LA. So they reached out to me. They said that they want to open like a restaurant here in Milwaukee because I'm Greek. And I was like, oh, lovely. I'll be able to, after games, like come eat here, enjoy Mediterranean cuisine, and have a little bit of privacy and stuff. Because like I had a meeting in here prior to this interview. It's been good. Like I've been like doing what I love to do, enjoying good food, and at the same time like making a little bit of money.
I went to Greece for the first time last summer.
Really?
I loved it.
Where did you go?
Santorini, Athens, and Mykonos. But you're originally from Greece.
Yes.
And where are you from in Greece for the people that don't know?
I was born and raised in Athens. I was there until 18. My parents came from Nigeria in 1991. They had my older brother Thanasis. I wish he was here because he's so business savvy too. 2013, I got drafted. I came here in Milwaukee. I've been here for 13 years with the team and hopefully many more.
But you didn't grow up with a lot of money.
There you go. And hopefully many more. So a few things to dissect from that. That last 3 seconds is what people were focusing on as the trade rumors begin to fly, or continue to fly, I should say. And you have this clip come out of Giannis saying, I've been here for 13 years and hopefully many more. And people go, oh, so maybe he's staying. He wants to stay. He doesn't want to go to Miami. He wants to stay here. Okay, Giannis staying with the Bucks, signing Supermax confirmed. Calm down. Just as much as I tell everyone to calm down about the trade rumors and reading into everything that Sham says, you got to calm down about this too. This is a YouTube video. It was posted in the last 28 hours. We have no idea when this was filmed. The only thing we know is that you can do the math of saying if he says 2013 and I've been here for 13 years. Okay, so it's not like this was a year ago, right? Sure. But this could have absolutely been before Jimmy Haslam comes to the art museum and goes, we're going to figure out what we're doing with Giannis before the draft. That absolutely could have been the case. These type of professional YouTube videos that are put together are not shot and put out in 24 hours. I could almost bet my life this didn't happen within the last week. It happened before that. So just something to keep in mind. Don't read too much into this, but this is the latest Giannis news of things that are happening.
At On Air Josh, at Trevor Thomas IW on X. What's your favorite GIF? What is it? GIF? What's your favorite GIF for waiting? You know that kid that's got his elbow on the table and he's kind of doing this? Just tweet at us. What's your favorite GIF for like?
Yeah, that type of waiting. Usually when I'm waiting for something, it's because I'm like stressing about waiting, and I'll send a Key and Peele one of the guy just sweating profusely. Like, come on. What's the news? What's the word?
All right. Anything else?
Anything else?
You tried what last night?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun at Natty Oaks last night in the Oaks Lounge. Our friend John Kuhn also in attendance for trying the Weller Millennium Bourbon, which is a $7,500 bottle of bourbon. It came in like a box that when you open it, like literally lights are underneath. It's like, oh, it's insane just to see. I was like, this is the type of cool stuff that Natty Oaks does. Like these type of events, they do just crazy things. But just never in my life would have been like, oh, you know what? Like, let's try a bottle of bourbon. Let's try a bourbon that's worth your car. Like, let's just do that. Which, yeah, it was good. In case you were curious.
Did you have it neat?
Yes.
Can't do it. Mm-mm.
Well, for a tasting, like you only get like an ounce.
Yeah, only an ounce.
I think okay. 2 ounces. But it's not like enough to where you're putting a cube in it.
Yeah, it is. A 2-ounce pour is exactly what a cube deserves in my world anyway. I can't drink bourbon neat. It needs to be cold and a little watered down. To each their own. Yep. If I would have did that with a $7,500 pour, I would have been punched in the face.
I think so. I think you would have. Yeah. But it was an awesome time. I do think it's hilarious though. Like if you would have, like you can definitely tell the difference between a $7,500 pour and a $30 pour. It's very different for me with like wines. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you drink a lot of wine, but like for me, it's like, okay, that wine is juice and that wine is not juice. And that's it. Like, that's it. I couldn't tell the difference between a 40-year whatever or something that's on the bottom shelf in a grocery store. Couldn't do it.
My night was absolutely amazing. I was invited to MC a benefit and a talk for a group here in Northeast Wisconsin, and really, it should be nationwide. It's called Freedom to Liberty and Missions of Honor. Josh, it's the only one of its kind in the entire country where these people do a mission of healing retreat to New York City for a 3-night stay and visit to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum and Ground Zero, and it's directly for all of the veterans that have served in what they call the global war on terrorism. We all know about the honor flights, right?
Of course.
And I was gifted so humbly and emotionally a trip on an honor flight coming up on October 27th.
Very cool.
I think that's a Monday.
Oh, God.
Is it? Nope, it's a Tuesday.
Of course it isn't. Because that makes sense. Because if it was a Monday, that would have been the only Monday where people give you a pass.
A free pass, right.
And instead it's on a Tuesday. Brilliant.
Unbelievable event. Will Hamino was the speaker, Josh. He was one of only 20 survivors from 9/11. A Port Authority police officer. He was pulled out of the rubble after 13 hours. His story was chilling.
I bet.
It was really an incredible night. So grateful to Steve Trickner and all of those involved with Missions of Honor for inviting me out. You don't know what you're getting into with some of those things. You do your best to be prepared, and then you get there and you're like, oh, crap, I'm going to cry.
Sure.
It was just unbelievable in terms of moving, and they raised a boatload of money for one of the better causes I've ever seen. I understand that veterans of all age deserve to be honored, and in our lifetime, these guys and gals that served in the global war on terrorism, no matter where you stand politically, do not start that. It was an amazing night. So grateful. All right. Google that, would you? missionsofhonor.org, freedom to liberty. They could use your support, and it's a worthy cause. When we come back, we have questions. The rumor mill is a-flying in regards to Tarek Skubal. If we sell the farm, who are we selling? And is it worth it? Plus your questions and, by golly, our answers. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions, presented by Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
In sports and in life, the right partner matters. At Capital Credit Union, they are there for you every step of the way. Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing. We've talked about budgeting. We talked about rainy day funds. What's the best way to keep your credit score where it needs to be? And the habits to promote a healthy credit score. Answer, just pay your bills on time. Pretty simple. That's what financial literacy is all about. It's the simple things and the right things with Capital Credit Union that get you there. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. The question of the day among yours as well on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. If this whole Scooble thing was to happen, who are we willing to give up? We know that the Brewers farm system is number one in baseball. And the guys on the top of the list are really good. We're hoping they play for the Brewers.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, if not, who are we willing to give up?
And I mean, also, let's just start by saying the conversation of do we want Scooble? Do we need Scoobles? Is the rental of Scooble worth it? Right? Because there's a I'm gonna just get to this right away. There was Joel Sherman, is an MLB Network insider. He also is a columnist for the New York Post, and he was on MLB talking about, as I said yesterday, a lot of people are saying that the Brewers are good and should make a move, which has me feeling a certain way in the national media. But here's what he had to say about it.
I think they should go get Scooble.
The Brewers.
Yeah. This is a team that has never won the World Series, was in it once in 1982. Mm-hmm. If you get to August 3rd and Mizorowski and Harrison are pitching the way they're pitching, and you're thinking about, how can we get to and through the Dodgers? How about if Scooble is starting one of those games also? And the history is they went out and got CC Sabathia, who was this exact same guy, the dominant left-hander about to become a free agent and very likely to go to a big market team like he did with the Yankees, like Scooble's probably afterwards. I know it's not, that was Doug Melvin. This is a different group of guys who they don't like to give up future value because they want to be good every year. Man, there's only one chip given out a year, and I think they could get the chip. Wow. And this would be a year to go and do something uncomfortable because who would want to play them?
It's good.
He makes a lot of good points.
Mm-hmm.
The one point that him and a lot of others, though, are making this comparison to CC. And while the transaction itself is comparable, the situations with the Brewers are not. The situation when they went and got CC was get us back to the postseason. That was it. It was, we've gone 26 years without being in the postseason. We need to get back. That was the goalpost. They got there. That's not where the goalpost is now. Do we think right now that this team is a Scooble away from winning the World Series? That's the question, right? I talked to Sparky and Tommy yesterday, and both agreed, no. At least you don't know that right now. It's June 3rd. It's really early on. So some things to keep in mind as we start playing the what would we give away for Scooble game. Just keeping in mind that our goal this time, if we took a 2-month rental, is the whole damn thing, not just making it there.
Scooble, a pitcher with an elbow injury that hasn't pitched in how long, says the 608, as a rental? I wouldn't give up that much. That's the other caveat that plays into this, is he's not healthy, right? Not 100% healthy. And therefore, not only, to your point, Josh, are we going to potentially have a rental pitcher to help us win the World Series, but it's a gamble based on his condition. And then if we start to look at the Brewers prospect list and those that we would have to potentially give up, there's going to be a pitcher involved. So who? Robert Gasser, who reportedly, per an Uber driver on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250, was picked up at O'Hare last night and is going to be starting today, or at least that's what he told his driver. And there's a TBD on the starting pitching line for Milwaukee tonight and tomorrow, with the Miz projected to start on Friday in Colorado. Mm-hmm. So if Skubal, and we have a bit of a mess right now in terms of our starting pitching, and it makes sense, and it's a rental, and we're going into a CBA, and we'd still be giving up something significant to have that guy come pitch for, like you said, just a few months.
So, yeah, I think the biggest one is looking at the rest of this series as a perfect example. TBD today, TBD tomorrow, and then you get Miz back on for the first game against Colorado on Friday. But that TBD is the big issue where you're going, because we've gone back and forth. Is it a bat? Do we need a bat? Do we need a pitcher? If we were going to get someone at the trade deadline, what position are we even looking at? I'm definitely at this point thinking it's a starting pitcher. That's who they're getting. I don't know if it's Skubal, but he's just the big flashy name because he's, Cy Young winner and going to be on the market. So I definitely think they need that's a problem. I think that we all kind of were okay with the idea of we just have to make it through right now. And then we're going to get Woodruff back. And then we're going to get Priester back. And we have Sproat who can do things. And then it went, oh, okay, Woodruff still isn't back. He's throwing live bullpen games, but who knows how he's going to be by October. Priester's definitely something you're worrying about. It's just been nervous Nelly going through his rehab starts and where he's been at. That's not good. And you keep going through these, and then Sproat's not doing everything you need him to, and you go, okay, now we have holes. Now we have holes in our starting rotation. And if what was his name that we just played? Joel Sherman. To Joel Sherman's point, if you want to get past the Dodgers, Skubal might be the way to do it.
So if Skubal, Josh, who are we giving up?
I don't know. We have so many. I don't know that I mean, if we throw a pitcher in there, yeah, that's fine. It could be a gasser. That would be a throw-in, though. The big thing is you're looking at the prospects. You're looking at the guys that are in the minors that have been in the farm system, and you're going, all right, who are these guys that we have could be enough? On the YouTube stream, because, of course, we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can watch us at WI Sports Radio. Ben Quinn 5927 says, is Jet Williams and Luis Lara enough to get Skubal?
Both in AAA. Both can play the outfield. Only one can play the infield. Jet Williams came in trade. Luis Lara is probably the most obvious outfield call-up that the Brewers have in their system now. So do we need outfielders? No. Do we need infielders? Kind of, but we got a few to choose from with Jesus Made and Luis Pena and Cooper Pratt, who's obviously under a long-term contract. So would it be enough? Probably not without a pitcher, but it's certainly worth the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We could afford to lose Jet Williams and Luis Lara.
The other point that Sparky made yesterday when we were going back and forth, because I had asked him, I said, I remembered us getting CC, but I didn't remember like the talk ahead of time. And were the Brewers a part of that? And he said every place was reporting it, but the Brewers were not a team they were talking about. But Melvin went out and got him early. He said, if I'm going to make a move for a rental, I don't want him for just September. Like, you're giving him to me in June. And he got CC early. Is that what Matt Arnold's thinking if they go and get Skubal?
The Bowers Home Runathon continues. And we've made a promise that we intend to keep, with the most electrifying sound of the day coming up next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day
The most electrifying
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Bowers had tried to center. Back it goes. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Bowers. That's number 10.
That is number 10, Jeff Levering and Brewers TV. A Bowers home run, and that is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I mean, I know that we said we're going to play every single one, but this is awesome.
Yeah, pretty fun. And a shot, audio courtesy of Brewers TV, dead center field, off the batter's eye.
Yep.
Anytime you see that batter's eye in play, you're like, oh, damn.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. The question of the day in the I Have Questions portion of the show with Capital Credit Union. Should we sell the farm for Tarek Skubal? And if so, for who? Fascinating texts back-to-back here, Josh. The first one from the 920 says, pitching is how the Dodgers won last year. No one, especially the Brewers, could hit them. Isn't schemes on the trade market? I would go for that. We need a bat. All right.
Okay.
Next text. Did anyone see the postseason last year? Sorry, that one was pitching. Did anyone see the postseason last year? The Brewers didn't get rolled because of their pitching. They need a bat. So one's pitching and one's a bat.
Yeah.
Can we have both?
Still going back and forth. I don't know. I don't know if we can. Also, we got this one from BVG in the Berg, who said, you have questions? I have answers. I'm surrounded by Tigers fans, and yeah, they love Skubal, but everyone is always worried about his elbow. Do we really want to give up our farm for a potential second Woodruff situation?
That is what hangs over our head the most. If we didn't have Woodruff in the spot we do, and I still think we're slow playing him, by the way. I really do.
We might be.
But let's bring in Skubal with a bum elbow who has floaties and had to have another proceed. Like, there's no guarantee that that dude is A, ready, and B, where he was when he was the Cy Young. So it's not only a gamble monetarily, it's not only a gamble of who we're letting go to get him, but it's a gamble if he can even be the dude that we need him to be.
Yep. Plain and simple.
In a year like this, you only play the games of dice that you roll.
I think the real question becomes, how long do you think Matt Arnold waits until he just makes a decision? I think for sure they got to wait to see Skubal pitch. Right? Like, they're not going to, coming off injury, they got to see something from the dude. But like, then it becomes, do they go get him before the end of June? Are they waiting until the actual like deadline? I don't know.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. That and your reaction to Josh Jacobs being at OTAs yesterday in the Green Bay Packers. What the locker room had to say, as Coach LaFleur said, it's business as usual. Is it? What are your thoughts? That's the Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump coming up next on a Would You Rather Wednesday. After that, our friend Doug Gottlieb scheduled and confirmed to appear.
Good.
We'll pray in about an hour. How about that?
Fair.
He'll be here.
Okay.
We want you to stick around. The Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump. Your thoughts on Josh Jacobs at practice yesterday. One could say it's anything but business as usual, yet that might be the best way forward at the moment. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Bowers are trying to center. Back it goes. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Bowers. That is up the middle, base hit. Hamilton will score. Yelich to third. That's a big insurance run for the Brewers.
Boy, a huge hit for Bryce Durant.
Ground ball right side, base hit. That scores one. Here comes Sal. Two are in. Massive hit from Christian Yelich. Chourio dead center. It's way back. And it is off the top of the wall. Yelich coming around third. He will score. And that one right back up the gut. Chourio coming around third. Another run for the Brewers. Slips it into left. There is Chourio. Ball game. 8-3 Brewers. They take down the Giants tonight.
7 of their last 8, 16 games over 500. Your Milwaukee Brewers. Audio courtesy of Brewers TV. Jeff Levering on the call. Welcome to Hour 2 of Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, where in the world of sports, things change a lot.
True.
We saw that Sean Wright, 8 hours ago, posted some breaking news that the Milwaukee Brewers are calling up pitching prospect Tyson Hardin, who's expected to make his major league debut today against the Giants. Sources tell Mr. Wright. Hardin's 24. His tweet says he's rocketed through the Brewers system and recently earned a promotion to AAA Nashville after a strong start in Biloxi for the 2026 season. Josh and I looked up a little bit of information on this cat. He's on the list of the top 20 Brewers prospects. He's number 17. And one could argue that this would be a guy who we could use to go and get a different pitcher.
So do we believe the Uber driver or do we believe Sean Wright? Who pitches for the Brewers today?
Or tomorrow.
Or tomorrow.
Maybe they're both right.
Oh, boy.
Could it be? You know this is jacked when we have to take Uber drivers as sources. Could it be Tyson Hardin today and Robert Gasser tomorrow? Stay tuned.
And what does that mean for Brandon Sproat? Ooh.
Well, could they start one of those guys and have Sproat come out of the pen? Somebody on the Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250, said, hey, guys, remember, our starting pitching is kind of jacked because Chad Patrick was supposed to be a starter. He's in the pen.
Mm-hmm.
DL Hall was supposed to be a starter. He's in the pen.
Mm-hmm.
And if we put Sproat in the pen and do the whole Chad Patrick come in for relief type of scenario,
yeah, not good.
No.
Yeah.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line.
Just keep winning.
What do you got to get off your chest and out of your head? Brewers related? Packers related? Josh Jacobs at OTAs? Whatever you got, we're a safe place on a Would You Rather Wednesday. Time for the Malott Meats Morning Mind Up.
I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malat Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The meat of the month with our friends at Malat Meats at WisconsinMeatMarket.com. The Grill Master Box. Gourmet hamburger patties, natural casing hot dogs, natural casing bratwursts. I speak from experience. You want one of these. Specifically for the 4th of July weekend. The 4th falls on a Saturday, which would make a natural weekend to take off on a Monday, just saying. Wherever you go and whatever you do for the 4th of July and your barbecue needs, head to WisconsinMeatMarket.com right now and check out the Grill Master Boxes. You will not be disappointed. Plus, ribeyes, 10% off for Father's Day. Go check it out, WisconsinMeatMarket.com. I ate the living crap out of those natural casing hot dogs. You a hot dog guy, natural casing hot dog guy? Because there's differences.
I mean, I prefer a brat over a hot dog, but yeah, I'll eat it for sure.
The answer is yes. Is the answer yes in regard to business as usual for the Green Bay Packers? Josh Jacobs was at OTAs yesterday. Coach LaFleur said he's here and it's business as usual when he talked prior to practice yesterday late morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then we saw him in practice and it was seemingly business as usual until you got to the locker room and started talking to some of the guys. And then you're like, oh, there's a theme in regards to we're going to keep the specifics here, the details to ourselves. And we have his back, but it's a little weird. Here's QB1.
Yeah, we've talked internally. Everyone knows what the situation is there, and we've talked. But obviously, the details are, we're keeping that. Everybody's keeping that under wraps right now, just out of respect for the situation and obviously all the legal stuff that's going to be playing out. But it's great to have Josh here with us, be able to work with us and get back to work.
So yeah, legal stuff and great to have him.
Yeah, but also listen to what he says to start it.
Yeah, we've talked internally. Everyone knows what the situation is there.
Mm-hmm. So that to me makes it seem like we when we had DG on last week and he said, you call somebody, right? When this happens, like you call somebody and you got to tell them what happened, right? It seems like whatever that story was that Josh Jacobs is saying is now been shared with the locker room. Everyone knows, right? Whatever that message is, whatever that story is, it seems like that being a theme and Jordan Love putting it out there right away of saying, we all know what happened. We're not going to tell you what happened out of respect for the situation, but we have his back.
How do you think they got the info?
I would hope it was from Josh.
Do you think he addressed the team?
I think you have to. You can't have someone else tell that story and then expect things to be as back to normal as everyone's acting.
Xavier McKinney's got his back.
That's my guy. So I didn't really know too much until obviously it came out, but we all in support of him. And we understand things happen. Like I get things happen, but we all in support of him.
X's comment was different, right? Because the part that you focus on from that one is,
obviously it came out, but we all in support of him. And we understand things happen. Like I get things happen.
Yeah, but
we understand things happen. I get things happen. That is something you say when someone made a mistake and is guilty of something.
That's what you say when you get a speeding ticket.
Well, but that's why I'm like, okay, I don't know necessarily that he means what he's saying, because for this to go away and for things to continue as business as usual, it's not things happen. We all get that things happen. It has to be nothing happened. It's a misunderstanding. Nothing happened. And there's no charges. There's nothing to pursue because nothing happened.
Well, something happened.
Nothing happened. That if something happened, the NFL is going to suspend him 6 games. If it's proven that something happened. like the of the charges that were originally brought and dropped, if in any way, shape, or form, according to what we've heard and seen on the NFL's domestic abuse, domestic violence policy, the first strike for anything, Schefter came out and said it, and Rappaport, it's 6 games. It's a minimum 6 games.
If what?
If there was any domestic violence. Like, if
what about charges? What about, so just because you have to be found guilty in order for the NFL 6-game suspension to
there has
trigger?
to be not criminally. Like, let's say that it became a civil suit, right? And like she just went after him.
But what if it stays out of the courts?
I think that if there's no admission of guilt or that it's proven, then you can't, because then nothing happened. Right. So that's my point of, like, if X is out here saying things happen, we all know things happen. Well, you can't say that and then continue this line of nothing happened and we're just glad to have him back and whatever. However, now that could have been vague about the situation. Maybe something happened, but it was then Josh acting in self-defense, or something happened, but it had nothing to do with domestic violence. You could look at it that way. Maybe that's where X is coming from. But these are the things that start swirling when you don't have a cookie cutter answer given by everybody.
The police were called by a neighbor with a different neighbor, a woman who needed help. And the police, on the 911 recordings and some of the different communications they have, if you will, shared that they were in pursuit, or at least aware of, where Josh Jacobs' vehicle was. Something, no matter the definition, happened. You don't just get that with nothing, right?
Sure.
So again, the waiting game continues. But put that aside now. He was at OTAs yesterday.
Sure
and
was.
we talked ad nauseum the last few days and a little bit last week. What do the Packers do with this situation? Do they politely say, Josh, it's probably best you stay away, based on everything that you got cooking legally and all the pending charges, if any?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we just have you chill for now. And we talked yesterday to Schneid about the very same thing. Maybe they have him come and do a workout or something, and then bam, he's at OTAs, and coach comes out and says it's business as usual, which, by the way, is light years away from where we thought that was going to go.
1,000%.
So how do we feel about that, Wisconsin? What was the right thing to do here? 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law talk and text line.
That's why I think that the Packers organization has information that makes them go, we feel confident we can move forward. I mean, otherwise, you don't, even if you have them back, you don't let anyone talk. Like, there are other things that you can do. The only thing that didn't happen yesterday was media availability to Josh Jacobs, which I absolutely assume will not happen, at the very least, until the DA puts out a message saying, we have found, based on evidence, that criminal charges should not be pressed against Josh Jacobs.
Okay, pause there. If you're Josh Jacobs, then, do you even talk about it?
Well, what choice do you have if you're in the locker room and someone asks you? But no comment, I guess.
Guys, respectfully, there's nothing here. That's what if we were in that position, I'm not sure what you're asking about. I understand what you saw, but we all heard what the DA said. There's probably a statement that comes out again through his lawyers if it trends that way, and we move on. And that is hard in a job like ours, talking to all of you across the state of Wisconsin. This is a weird situation. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, he also very much could just come out and say, listen, I just want to put this all in the past. I'm just happy to be back playing football, and I want to focus on what I can do for my team, and just, grateful that things with this turned out the way they did, and ready to move on and play for the Green Bay Packers. Boom.
The 920 wants to get this off their chest, Josh, in the Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump. Why is Blake Perkins on this team?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. There's definitely a soft spot that Murph has for Blake Perkins. I also very much enjoyed Blake Perkins in the last couple of years. I thought even though he wasn't like the best hitter, he was up in some clutch situations. And even if he didn't get a hit, he could make a pitcher go 9, 10, 11 pitches in an at-bat, which is huge. That's huge, especially we saw that in the NLDS against the Cubs, right? He was the one that went like 9 or 10 pitches and then got the single to bring in a run and get that pitcher out of that game in game 1 that we were at. That was a huge moment.
You were sitting down rocking.
I was losing it, and then Perkins did that, and I went, that was ginormous. That was also last year. And I know that Blake Perkins has been going through a lot. And trust me, I get it. It can change a lot of things mentally when you lose someone, especially if you're close to that person like he was his mom. I'm not even saying that that's the reason why he's struggling. But if this team is saying that they have World Series aspirations, I'm not sure what Blake Perkins is bringing to this team right now.
He does look like a shell of himself currently, and it does look like there's something going on in his dome.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really bad base running blip last week, I believe, where he got picked off. And what I didn't like after that happened was he took his helmet off, he hung his head, and he went back to the dugout. I was like, oh, bad sign. Don't like that at all.
Adam in Kaukauna says, what's still bothering me during the morning mind dump here is that we haven't done anything with the third base position. How is Rengifo still in the lineup? So we talk about a little bit, because you have Rengifo and Hamilton as the guys that were kind of like, okay, what are we doing with these two? Hamilton has, in my opinion, really proven his worth.
I completely agree.
He is just the fastest dude. Like, if the sentence of Rengifo's going to score is like the most obvious statement. If he's on the bases and there's a base hit, that guy's scoring. Like, he's just a machine once he gets on base. Rengifo's a completely different story. And if they do put a package together, I would completely expect Rengifo to be a part of that being shipped out. I think they're just keeping him there because he's given them just enough to stick around until they can move him. I mean, they're not going to send Rengifo down to the minors. Like, that's not what that is. So, they're DFAing him if they let him go.
Is it acceptable if the Brewers do nothing with the left side of the infield as we continue on?
No. Something has to happen. More specific than shortstop is third base. You got to have something more solidified at third.
So one could argue, though, which I don't want to do, but they're 7 of 8 in their last 8 games, and they're 16 games over 500.
Mm-hmm.
So what's broken? Is it that there's no big name? Because on paper and in the win column, it's working.
Right. So it's something that, again, why I say, like, it's June 3rd. Right. We don't got to touch anything now. I don't think that we should be looking to make a big splash blockbuster trade now, or even a smaller one. Like, yeah, absolutely to your point, Trevor. Keep this going. But also, this is in October, and I don't trust that the left side of the infield in October. Like, those are things that when the rubber meets the road and we all get dialed in and we go, okay, we've been here way too often. We need to make that push now. They got to make a push at third.
I was talking earlier about the night I had last night in emceeing an event for Freedom to Liberty, and the idea that we have vets in our communities that are tied to the global war on terrorism, that this organization, Missions of Honor, takes these guys and gals to New York City on a 3-night retreat to just get them back in the mix together and figure out where they're at in life. And remember, there at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum at Ground Zero, that this is what it was all about. Last night, I got the chance to meet Will Hamino. He was one of 20 survivors on 9/11. He was a Port Authority police officer there in New York, and he shared his story. A few of you texted in and asked if I'd seen the World Trade Center movie, which actually depicted part of Officer Hamino's story. And then there was a couple choice words of, we know you hate movies and all. Well, you tapped into a movie that I actually absolutely would sit down and watch cover to cover.
But haven't.
Not yet. I didn't know this one existed. But
Okay.
I have watched a number of different documentaries on Netflix about 9/11. That's my jam. Stuff like that. I've watched the Bin Laden documentaries. That's where I spend my time in movies. Now, I also just saw that Nicolas Cage is in this World Trade Center movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all in.
Okay.
All in on Nicolas Cage. You know what I'm probably going to watch tonight instead of the NBA Finals?
Oh, God.
That movie.
Okay. Hey, the 920 says, in regards to everything happening with Jacobs, says, I trust the overlords at 1265. I think there's something there a little bit, too, about if this scenario was playing out in New York, how different it would be. But you got to trust that in Green Bay and in Brown County, small town vibes of being able to talk to each other and get information and learn some information maybe before the press does is a real thing. This situation plays out way differently in Green Bay than it does in New York.
Schneid told us that yesterday. Somebody tipped him off, and he knew day of, 3 days before the rest of us found out when all of it came out after Memorial Day. It's a small town, all right.
Yeah.
It's a Would You Rather Wednesday on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we want to hear from all of you on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. What are your Would You Rathers for us? And we'll share ours with you. Answer each other's, and we know we'll get an answer from you, too. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on a Would You Rather Wednesday, 414-677-1250. Josh, would you rather 16 runs with no home runs or 2 runs with only 1 2-run home run?
16 runs with no home run.
Does no home run scare you? A buddy of mine, Darren, texted me yesterday and was like, I like it. I actually like it. And I said, I don't know if I do.
So I like it, but also I know that sometimes when you're going up specifically in the postseason against really, really good pitching, you don't have that many opportunities for mistakes to get a guy on and then bunt him over and play that small ball, right? Sometimes they only make 3 mistakes all game. And so if one of them isn't leaving the yard, you might not be putting points on the board. So that's my one fear about not having power. But if you're able to do what the Brewers do, then it doesn't matter. I still think it's super surprising. I texted a group chat when it was 10, when they had 10 runs in that game. And I went, I can't believe they have 10 runs and no home run.
Mm-hmm.
You should have seen my next text. Okay, and add 6 more. Like, just of the insane ability to peck away. That's not easy to do, especially in today's MLB, where people are so dependent on the long ball or a strikeout. Like, that's just what we're used to, and the Brewers keep going against that. All right, here's mine for you. Would you rather have the Brewers get Skubal or a different, lesser-known pitcher plus a power bat?
Skubal.
Okay.
I'm all in Skubal.
Skubal over getting a different pitcher and then also some offense.
Yes. I'm right now on the bandwagon of the only thing that appears to be potentially broken for the Brewers is the starting pitching.
Oh, there's way more than that, but okay.
But it's working. If it's way more than that and it's working, then I'll take it's working and let's fix starting pitching. So in the would you rather category, Skubal or a lesser-known pitcher and a bat, I would take Skubal.
Okay.
To piggyback on that, maybe this is an easy answer for you then. Would you sell the farm for Skubal or screw Skubal and bring up the farm?
Yeah, this is tough for me. Because what's sell the farm?
You don't get to pick. Right now, our prospects are our biggest bargaining chip. And that's been the Brewers' way for a long time.
We have so many.
But you don't get to control who. You're going to sell the farm to get Skubal. Or you're done with the Skubal conversation and you bring up the farm and roll the dice literally with the farm.
I feel like I have to go the farm. I got to keep the farm. Because to me, there are just certain pieces of the farm that are off limits. And Skubal still has too many question marks. But, like, if it's for, like, a Lara and Williams, sure. But, like, I don't want him. Fisher can't go, right? Obviously, Madej is not being touched. But, like, they're just, if you're going to put the would you rather question is just sell the farm and I don't get to protect anybody, then no, I got to go the farm. All right. Mr. I like the Brewers but live in Green Bay. Would you rather have the Brewers get Skubal or the Packers get Sweat?
Skubal.
Okay.
I don't know that we need Sweat right now. Stand by.
Please.
I don't see a hole there.
I definitely. It's a huge improvement. It's a ginormous improvement. I mean, you look at what happened with the Rams and just how things change and get that much better when you add a Myles Garrett. That's the same solution when you add a Sweat to Green Bay.
We have a Micah Parsons, and a healthy Micah Parsons completely opened up a healthy Lucas Van Ness last year until he got hurt.
Right.
You might remember, I feel like, did Van Ness have at least 2 tackles? Did he have 2 sacks in the first game?
Right, but what I'm saying is that imagine if on the other side of Parsons was Sweat. Like that's my thing of like you're looking at you're looking at we think about Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary had opportunities. He had a boatload of opportunities last year.
Played pretty well in BNC.
He couldn't do anything with them. So it's that type of situation of, okay, which one of these two mammoths are you going to block? Good luck.
I personally think that the Brewers would benefit more from Skubal, who, by the way, to all of you screaming on the Nicolay Law talking text line at 414-677-1250, that he hasn't pitched in a minute. You're right. And he's still in all of the conversations for a trade. Mm-hmm. He is currently on a $32 million one-year arbitration contract. He had surgery to remove the loose bodies in his elbow, and there's nothing wrong with any ligament damage. Nobody is going to trade for him until he pitches. You're right. The scenario we're talking about is if a healthy Skubal, then blank.
I also like, this is a great point from the 9-2 on this. It says, remember, Laporta was the top prospect for CC. Brinson was for Yelich. Prospects are lottery tickets. If the Brewers have knowledge that Contreras or Terrain could possibly be signing an extension, you include either Caro or Jet, and then fill with another 10 to 30 prospect and an arm. No Madej, Pratt, or Fisher. Let's try to hang a World Series banner. 920, 1,000%. That is it.
Bam.
That's the ticket. The reason why I couldn't just come out and say that is because exactly like you said, they're in this would you rather scenario. It was, I don't get to choose who. Absolutely, that deal falls apart if Madej, Pratt, or Fisher are traded for Skubal. You can't trade either of those three guys for a rental. You just can't. Everyone else, maybe.
The 262 says, if he wasn't going to be a 3-month rental, I'd be interested. Is there an argument that Skubal may not be a 3-month rental based on the new CBA?
No, even with that, because even if the new CBA goes through, and that's super far apart, but like that's come out that those sides could not be farther apart right now.
Really makes me worry about baseball.
Correct. But if that was the case, there's still no way that Skubal doesn't get a boatload of money, even with the cap. A team would pay and sacrifice elsewhere to have that type of pitcher.
All right. On a summer day in sweet corn season, are you eating a sweet corn on the cob with butter and salt, or literally no butter or salt, but anything else? You can choose anything else in the entire world to put on it, or butter and salt.
No butter and salt for sure.
No butter and salt?
No, I'm going with butter and salt. Yeah, I don't. My brain can't even, like, maybe some other seasoning, but like if it's not if there's not butter on that corn, what are we doing?
I've seen it with like Parmesan cheese. Maybe a little pepper.
Yep.
I am all butter and salt.
Yeah.
Not only am I all butter and salt, but I will put on a show with how many corn on the cob I can eat. I eat it way too confidently.
Yes. And it's difficult to cleanly eat corn on the cob.
I don't even try.
Yeah. You just are creating a mess. All right. Would you rather, speaking of the summer cookouts, would you rather have as a side baked beans or potato salad?
Baked beans.
I'm potato salad all day.
You are?
Yep.
I had some Festival Foods potato salad on Saturday that somebody brought to the tailgate. Real good. Real good.
Potato salad's great. It was also at the Natty Oaks golf outing for the little reception when they put out some amazing ribs. And, just all the food there's so good. But even the catering was so good. Ribs just fall apart. And then they had potato salad, and that was like on ice, right? Obviously, as it's in the buffet line. And I could not have taken more potato salad. Like, my plate was loaded with the potato salad.
Would you rather have an at-bat in a sold-out stadium or tee off with the crowd all around you?
Oh, boy. Well, either way, I'm embarrassing myself, but I think that I would go with the at bat because then there's also less chance that I also injure someone. Like, I'm going to embarrass myself either way.
Yeah.
But I think with the tee shot, like, that's the other thing. That crowd all around you, like I have absolutely hammered some immediately directly to my right. like 50 feet in front of me, straight right, to where that person's going to a hospital. So I'm going to go with the at bat.
But it is your injury versus someone else. Meaning you could get plunked.
I could get plunked, but more likely I'm just 4 seconds late on the pitch and everyone's laughing at how embarrassingly bad the at bat is.
A lot of feedback on our Would You Rathers, and this Scooble thing has legs. We'll review your texts and get to a few more Would You Rathers. Plus, Doug Gottlieb scheduled and confirmed to appear on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Today, no different. Let us pray. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Hey, Wendy's new cookie dough Frosty Fusion is the ultimate feel-good snack, and I know this for a fact. Picked up Jordy one, and he freaked out. It was like I could have just given him $1,000. He was so excited. It's probably because it has everything in there from the cookie dough to the brownie batter sauce, which was made for maximum happiness, which he absolutely reached. Go grab a new cookie dough Frosty Fusion today for yourself. For that ultimate feel-good snack, it's got to be Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and all of you literally all over the place on this Scooble thing. On a Would You Rather Wednesday as we prep for our friend Doug Gottlieb to join us at the top of the hour. Schlitz Hat Patrick says that half of the people on these radio stations are out of their minds in regard to Scooble. Josh and I were talking over the break that why is this such a hot topic now? Well, things are trending in the right direction, number one. Number two, if you look at the schedule for June and compare it to May, June, we could be even more successful than we were in June. Three, we got about a month to decide here. If we're going to go and get an arm that is in conversation of the worthy arm to help the Brewers win the World Series, then it's going to be in early July. Remember, CC Sabathia arrived July 7th back in 2008. We rode his wave for half the season, literally.
Well, and that's the thing. Schlitz Hat Patrick goes on to say, one pitcher every five games does not get us there in any way, shape, or form. And then we have nothing in the farm system until we hopefully rebuild. No Scooble, bring up who we need and ride the farm. Listen, the thing is, Schlitz Hat Patrick, we saw it with CC. It can. You absolutely can have a starting pitcher be the guy. I will say times have changed. I don't care who it is. You don't have pitchers going complete game, game after game pitching to where you don't even need the bullpen, and he's essentially doing it all for you. That doesn't exist anymore. So things have changed since the CC days as well. It's a very tough decision.
Look at where starting pitching, though, in ace form has gotten this team. Mizorowski and Harrison are on a different planet. Add one more insanely good ace pitcher to that rotation, and I will take whoever pitches in games 4 and 5 to quickly get back to those dudes. That, I think, sets up the Brewers for greater success than going and finding a bat. Who was the hot bat on the trade deadline last year that ended up going to Seattle, I believe? Was he with the Diamondbacks?
That sounds right. I can't remember his name either.
He also played for Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic.
Seattle almost made it. Keep in mind.
Right. So, but he also was not the hitter that I think everybody expected him to be when he got there. So just like pitching is sometimes hit or miss, so too are bats. And I guess I would rather have a guy that we know could be at the top of his game every 4 or 5 days. By the way, a 5-man rotation is not required. I believe CC was in a 4-man rotation, if memory serves me right. That's not unheard of. Not ideal, but not unheard of. It was Suarez. Thanks, Nicolay Law, talking text line.
Yeah, that's why it's so tough. I will say the other thing about this that makes it so difficult too is that we're basing this all on how the team is doing in June. Right. And to your point, Trevor, if we only have until July, we make this decision in July, and then we go the rest of July, August, and September, hoping that things stay status quo. That's not easy to do. There could be ebbs and flows. What happens if the starting pitching ends up being just lights out, but our bats go ice cold? Well, now it's September. Now you can't. Trade deadline's done. What are you going to do?
What you just said was relevant in bats, plural, go ice cold. That's what happened against the Dodgers. It was the lineup that went ice cold. So going and getting one bat that is roaring hot doesn't fix an entire lineup of cold bats. I'm pitching all the way. Josh and I talked in the break, I would say you could put together the greatest all-star Green Bay Packers team of history. Pick them. Go ahead. All of the all-stars, all the Pro Bowlers at every position. If there is a decision that would make the Brewers have as great of a chance to win the World Series as they could possibly have, I am picking that over anything Green Bay Packers. We talked about this. There's not much that you could, what do we say? Pinkies. We talked about pinkies. Garbage Man Mike, pinkies for a World Series.
Right.
So if we have to sell the farm, I'll put up the for sale sign.
Yeah.
Get me a World Series.
I mean, and that's the thing, right? All these hypotheticals, if it was guaranteed a World Series, then no one's safe. You can get rid of Madej. You can get rid of everybody. I don't care. It's just, it's all a risk. It's all a risk.
All right. 414 had a good one earlier on a Would You Rather Wednesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Would you rather pitch a perfect game but lose it like Armando Galarraga did? Or would you rather be the last out of the World Series with the winning run on base?
Ooh. I would rather lose the perfect game.
Same. I would much rather not have the personal accolade and win a World Series.
Yep.
Although that doesn't say that you're guaranteed to win one, but making the last out in the World Series and losing it guarantees you don't.
Yeah. No, if I was the last out to lose the World Series, to where now forever in history too, whenever that clip of that celebration of that team winning the World Series shows me swinging and missing and walking back to the dugout, woof. That's a tough position to be in.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Skubal's a back-to-back Cy Young winner. It's not even close. We can give up 2 or 3 of our prospects, and my buddy Matt says, I still think it's worth it. We've done the prospect route. We still don't have a ring. Let's get Skubal.
Listen, I agree. I just think that there have to be a few names that are off that can't be touched. Mostly Fisher, Madej, and Pratt. Like, that's it. But anyone else, yeah, go ahead. And I know we got a bunch of them. And here's the other thing, too. Even though Matt Arnold has hit like an incredibly high rate of success with prospects, not every prospect is going to be a home run. Like, it's not in the cards. So taking the chance and moving on from a few of them isn't the worst idea either. To me, though, it can't be sell the whole farm. There've got to be some people that are protected.
The time has come.
Oh, okay.
Let us pray. Dear God, Doug Gottlieb on this show on Wednesdays at 8 a.m. and sometimes for 2 segments, real good time. Like the most feedback we get out of anything that Josh and I do. Doug Gottlieb is confirmed via text. You saw it. You know all. If you could nudge him, right? I mean, I'm going to nudge him. We're going to nudge him. But if you could nudge him, I don't know if don't show him any light. That's weird. But just nudge him. And I guess that would be appreciated. And go Brewers. Amen. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of the University of Wisconsin Green Bay men's basketball team, former national radio host and friend of the program, scheduled and confirmed to join us next on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Questions for DG, 414-677-1250. That's the Nicolay Law talk and text line. The studios here at the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Stay here.
It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by Habish, and Rotier. Sunny conditions expected throughout the day today with a high of 75 degrees. It's currently 54 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
Bowers are trying to center. Back it goes. It is gone. A 3-run homer for Bowers. That is up the middle, base hit. Hamilton will score. Yelich to third. That's a big insurance run for the Brewers.
What a huge hit for Bryce Duran.
Ground ball right side, base hit. That scores one. Here comes Sal. Two are in. Massive hit from Christian Yelich. Churio dead center. It's way back. And it is off the top of the wall. Yelich coming around third. He will score. And that one right back up the gut. Churio coming around third. Another run for the Brewers. Slips it into left. There is Churio. Ball game. 8-3 Brewers. They take down the Giants tonight.
Hour 3 of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's who sponsors the studios. I'm Trevor. He's Josh.
Hi.
And you guys are fired up about the Milwaukee Brewers. And we love that.
We're here for it.
Listen, if the Brewers won the World Series in 2008, when we rented CC Sabathia, would we be talking about how bad the early 2000s were? No. So if we friggin' sell the farm right now and win a World Series and we suck for a few, 2, 3, 10 years, I don't care. Give me the damn ring.
It's what we need.
Prayer works, people. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. The one and only Doug Gottlieb. Hey, buddy, happy Wednesday. Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Happy Wednesday. I'm so glad you brought up the years of sucking for the Brewers because I was it's not a humble brag, it's just a brag, right? So I went to game 7 of Thunder San Antonio Spurs. And I found Oklahoma City fans to be the most obnoxious human beings on the face of the earth. I just did. No, I just, again, and I have many of them my friends, and then all of a sudden they go into that arena, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean? Like, your team does foul occasionally. There are, right? Like, it is, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I've been to Packer games. They're great fans. Oh, it's a penalty. You blame the guy who committed the penalty. Whereas, I mean, obvious foul. Anyway, my point, though, was one of my dear friends, I was sitting next to him, and I said, do people know how good you have it? He's like, what do you mean? It's like, you had the Thunder for like 15 years. This year, what, 3rd Western Conference Finals, been to 2 finals, won a championship, whatever, 4th Western Conference Finals. Anyway, my point for Milwaukee is, like, I totally disagree with you, Trevor. I've only been here, obviously, for 2 years, but both years, the Brewers have been awesome in the regular season. They haven't been in the postseason. And one, I do think people need to appreciate just how much fun this is, like on a daily basis, to watch an awesome baseball team. Murph's the best. The team's super athletic. They're fun to if possible in baseball, they actually play a super athletic, fun style to watch. And I think people need to appreciate how bad it had been 20 years ago to understand now how good it is. But I wouldn't sell my soul because what's the likelihood that it comes through? You're playing against the Dodgers. It's a stacked deck. The likelihood of winning as opposed to why not every year? And then one year you might break through. But in the meantime, you just love your summer watching the Brewers dominate their division.
Oh, okay. So usually, DG, I love debating against Trevor, but I got to be on his side here a little bit. I know. Stop the show.
Is this going to become a promo?
No, absolutely. We don't need to promote this. We've tried the bites of the apple thing for a while. We've had a lot of good seasons, which we do probably take for granted because it was bad for so long. And now we're really getting used to being in the postseason. But we've done this whole, we're good enough. We keep showing up. We keep getting our bites of the apple. We just need one of those seasons to break through.
Yeah.
And that's been the thing that hasn't happened. How long do you allow that? What has it been? 8-9 years of we just need to break. We just need one year to break through where the system is working. We just need one time for us to get lucky. I mean, a lot of us thought that last year that was it. And then it turned out, we weren't even playing in the same league when the Dodgers turned it on.
Oh, it's a different sport. They're playing a different sport, guys. They play a different sport.
So then the bites of the apple mentality of maybe 1 year you break through, that doesn't work. If you're going to continuously go up against a team that's playing a different sport, don't you got to try to do something? Don't you have to try to stack the odds as best you can in your favor and take a risk?
I disagree just because, again, if they're at full strength, and last year probably was the year where they were a little bit in between, right? With their pitching staff, didn't have a set closer going in. I don't know. I just like whatever this crew is doing. When I say crew, I'm talking top to bottom with the Brewers. It's working. They're awesome. They were the best team in baseball last month. Like, that's crazy. And so to just throw it all out and go, hey, we're gonna sell out. What are you gonna sell out for? What one player is gonna make you better than the Dodgers? And oh yeah, by the way, I'm not convinced that the old way of doing it, where you could, back then when CC came to the Brewers, right, from the Indians, that was when you could go, hey, get two great starting pitchers, big time closer, and then you go, and that's how you win in the playoffs. You don't do that anymore. It doesn't work that way anymore. Okay, now it's a war of attrition. They have a bullpen and just arms galore that they have 5 arms to your 1, and because pitching can become so hit or miss. Just tell me who the dominant pitcher is. You have one. You have Miz. Last year he was a rookie, right? So again, you have another one, but I'm saying that's the dude who you trade for. So what else are you going to go do to go put you over the top? They just beat you up because their lineup is full of all-stars. And they get the best player to ever play. Get the best. It's honestly, it's not that different in the NBA. Like, hey folks, San Antonio is going to be there every single year. Okay, that dude is that. If anything you think freaky of Giannis, okay, imagine if Giannis was more than half a foot taller. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. You can watch in person. Like, how does anybody score? They can't. Okay, so I was listening to Oklahoma City radio. They're like, well, what do you do to contest? With nothing. You're not going to get enough. There's no other Wemby. He's an alien. Just try and win every year, and one of those years you will break through. One of those years he'll be hurt, or they'll mess around and lose to a team that's inferior. Same thing with the Brewers. Just keep pounding every single year, and you may break through. If not, you enjoy the summer. I'm telling you, dial yourself back to when the Brewers sucked. It's miserable.
It was miserable, but I also think that if they would have won a World Series at some point when they did go all in, I don't know that we would remember how miserable they were. And on the flip side,
how much more all in could they have gone? And
Well, that's what we're talking about now, right? So there are people that are afraid to sell the farm, in finger quotes, because the Brewers have the best farm system in all of baseball, including the number one prospect in all of baseball in Jesus Made. The kicker is we got a mitt full of them. And so would we be willing to give up 2-3 of our greatest prospects, looking at the team now, to your point, that's winning? And I even brought this up earlier. A lot of people are upset with the left side of the infield for the Brewers in Rengifo and Hamilton and Ortiz. Yet, they're 7 of their last 8. They're 16 games above 500. And if there is a blip, it's in the starting pitching.
Yeah.
We have the Miz. We have Harrison. The question is, would one more arm like Skubal be worth it to give up some prospects and maybe a pitching arm in our farm system to really look at this team and go, is this the missing link?
Mm-hmm. See, what I wonder is that the way to do it, or is it the way to do it to just load up the bullpen with as many arms? Because that's what playoff baseball has become, right? It's just a war of who has more weaponry in their bullpen. And by the way, those things, a lot of those guys aren't as expensive, right? You can be creative. You're not necessarily unloading things. So I'm not saying that you don't go for it. I'm just saying like I've been there before. I grew up an Angel fan, right? And if you go back, they won the World Series in 2002, and then there were years there where they had, the best farm system in baseball, and they went for it with Pujols. Now, with Pujols, they weren't dealing picks or players, but they went all in, and they never had anything to show for it. Nothing. So I don't know. I woke up thinking today, like I knew I was going to come on with you guys. Like, do people know how good they have? I actually don't know how good, because I've only been here when the Brewers are good. Right? That's it. I mean, they've literally been good. And people I was talking somewhere the other day about it, and I was just like, yeah, the Brewers are good. That's what they do. It just because that's my only experience being in Wisconsin is with Brewer baseball being awesome. And so my thing is just, it's there's sometimes in sports radio, we get this narrative of, hey, you got to prove to the players in the locker room that you're all in on winning by making a move. Yeah, but if you do that, then you're getting rid of guys in the locker room. Like, what?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's guys that aren't in the locker room. It's you have 23 prospects and you're getting rid of 3 of them to give the guys in the locker room a legit chance.
Yeah, I understand. There's also they're able to do it with youth. They're able to do it with cost control. They're able to do it balancing the books. I don't know. Again, like what wins in the postseason, though, to me is bullpen. And I know that our old way of thinking is starting frontline pitching. And when you have 2 good arms and you hope that they're healthy, how you get creative in your bullpen, to me, is the key to trying to win this thing. That's your way that you can combat the Dodgers, although the Dodgers have an amazing bullpen.
Doug Gottlieb, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. DG, we talked a little.
You haven't asked.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah. So have you ever been to our cross country field on campus?
Yeah, that's the old golf course, right?
Yeah. So I come here with my dogs every day, but I just thought that the people who watch your digital feed, they're like, wait, that's GB's campus? Like, yeah, it's amazing. This is like
it really
you're kind of ruining my moment as Zen, but I'll do it for you guys, for Josh.
Wow.
I'll do it.
Thank you. I thought it was just your backyard. I thought you were just hanging out just right outside the house.
Yeah, that's part of the new contract we got here. We got 500 acres here in Swamico.
Hey, you made some splashes in regard to your schedule, and then you dropped something about maybe somebody else wanting to play in the preseason.
Yeah, we're talking today. So I think
you spill the beans.
Well, yeah. I mean, so it's no secret. Like, look, I believe there's 4 Division I teams in the state. I think we should, on some way, play all 4 Division I teams in some sort of cycle. I wish we could play a doubleheader in Milwaukee one year, in Madison one year, in Green Bay one year, whatever. But I'm also fully aware as a program we're not there yet, right? Even though we were much better than Milwaukee last year, they have earned the right to be kind of above us in the pecking order based upon what Bart has done during his time there and what's happening, frankly, during my time here. We'll get there. In the meantime, now you can have up to 2 exhibitions and a scrimmage. There's all sorts of ways to be creative. So I do believe that we'll have a couple of really good opponents. And so what, I don't know if you remember, you do remember, Trevor. Remember the controversy when I went down to the Super Bowl my first year?
Uh-huh.
And people lost their mind?
I do. Yep, we all do, actually.
Yeah. So, well, one, I mean, I had a job. It was a day off of this job. But secondly, while down there, I'm trying to convince, the Packer people, the Resch people, like, we want to play at the Resch Center the night before a Packer game. And they're like, whoa, hold on now. Wait, I never forget this. You don't go to an event to go to an event. And I was like, that's great. But, like, you have a sequestered audience there that's staying overnight, in the Titletown district. Why not? So, there's 2 really good exhibition dates. October 10th, we will have a high-level opponent, likely from one of the other 2 high major in-state institutions. So that's the night before Packers Bears. That's also a gold package game as well. So it would make sense to play one of those 2 teams because people are driving up from Milwaukee for the game anyway. And then either October 17th, we may do it the morning of the 18th, but we can't do the rest the morning of the 18th. October 17th, the night before Packers Cowboys, we want to have an exhibition game there. So we're going to have a couple big time opponents there.
If you had back-to-back exhibition games against the biggest teams in the state in Division I basketball on back-to-back weeks before Packer home games, you deserve a raise. That would be epic.
Also not a quadfecta, though. Just let's get that straight.
Shut up.
Look at Josh. Oh my gosh. How where did you come from? That was so good.
It needed to be
No,
said.
but it wasn't just, you don't need to, like, that was really good. Your timing, the delivery from left field just comes in, and nice little smack at our boy Trev.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to do Actually, this was a planned break, people.
Okay.
DG, are you sticking around for a little talk about Josh Jacobs and OTAs and a Would You Rather Wednesday, of course?
Yes, I actually would.
Here we go. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports, with Trevor and Josh and Doug Gottlieb. Stay here. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh and Doug Gottlieb on a Would You Rather Wednesday. Ken, let's put a button on this Brewers thing with a good Would You Rather question. Then we're going to move on to the Packers and get your take on Josh Jacobs coming to OTAs yesterday. Josh and I were talking during the break. Would you rather, as a baseball fan, and specifically the Brewers, be bad for 20 years like we were, with really no shot at getting into the playoffs and or winning World Series? Or would you be really good for 20 years, get into the playoffs on a fairly regular basis, and not win a World Series? What hurts worse?
Oh, I think the 20 years of being inept is way worse. Way worse.
Is maybe that's why these last 20 years of being really good has hurt so bad, because we were there for so long, and now we're like, oh, look at this, look at us, and not
well,
quite.
I mean, the Braves are the Braves are the example, right? Now they did win one in the 90s, but the Braves consistently being dominant, like that's a golden era in Braves baseball, even if they didn't win a World Series. I think. I don't know. It'd be one thing if it was a short season, but it's not. It's an entire summer, right? So to endure an entire, like, again, I can tell you, I don't have to look. I have a running joke with myself with the Angels, where it's like, how long can I keep the dream alive? And then you don't even get through May, and it's over. Like, it's over. You have no chance. I don't have to pay attention to anything Angel baseball ever. It's over, right? You don't want that. You want what you have now.
If we could just have one,
you think about it,
like one, just one. Like if we could look at our history, if they would have won in 82, even though I wasn't alive, even though I didn't get to experience it, if being able to just say that my organization, my team, wasn't one of the handful of teams in Major League Baseball that has never done it, if I could take away that whole mantra, throw it in the garbage, I might feel different. If we had one, we don't. I need one. I need one.
I will tell you, like, it's, again, I get it. You don't want to be the one who doesn't have one. When the Cubs have one, the White Sox have one, right? The Red Sox now have, 3, I think, since they broke the curse. But there also is something to it, and this is kind of a, maybe, I'm not sick, but this is a weird way to look at it. There is something cool to not having gotten one. There is something unique about it. And when that goes away, it gets less special. It does. It gets a little less special.
That's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Again, like it doesn't
Buddy,
matter.
We need one.
Here's the thing. When you have, it's really hard, right? You have an elite prospect who's not in the major leagues, which means you have him under club control. Potentially, these guys sign these long extensions, like forever at a cheap rate. Like it's such a hard one. Like, could we have an all-time great player, or could we take a shot at one other arm? And what if that doesn't work? I don't know. I enjoy every night watching Brewer baseball. It's on, and like so many people, in the background as I go about my day, right? It's just on. And I love looking up going, they won again. How about that? And I can't imagine what a summer would be like when you, like, again, Angel fan. Can you tell me anything that's happened with the Angels at all outside of being so stupid they didn't trade Shohei Ohtani when they could have to actually get something in return? No, nothing. It's the worst. None. And they won a World Series. I can tell you, they won in 2002 against the San Francisco Giants in Game 7. Okay. Thank you, Dusty Baker.
Do you remember what that felt like? As a fan?
Yeah, it was in the moment.
Yeah, we don't.
Cool.
Did it suck? Was it a bad time?
Awful.
Were you like, man, I really wish I wasn't experiencing this?
Okay, so you got it. You got to. We got to get to the would you rather and the Josh Jacobs stuff. So
yeah,
I'll cap it with this. Okay, I actually understand a lot of this because we moved to Southern California in 1981. In 1986, I thought they were going to the World Series, and like, my dad was a huge baseball fan. He's more of a Mets fan. We had Brewers stuff and whatever. And I remember putting in for the lottery for the World Series. I had center field tickets for Game 1, and the late Donnie Moore gave up a home run to the Red Sox, and the dream collapsed. Okay, so I do remember that the juxtaposition of that to then winning in 2002 and the way they won in 2002 was incredible. But I'm just going to tell you, the last 20 years have not been. Right? They were literally the best team in baseball. They go in and lose to the Kansas City Royals in 3 games. They get swept, and there's been nothing since. Zero. And it's awful. And would I give back a World Series to have be competitive every year for that same time span? I probably think I would, because I don't even care about the baseball team that I grew up watching, sneaking into their games. I'm telling you, the opposite side is worse. It sucks so bad, Josh. When your team is just yeah, they
all right,
it's
so
just like, go ahead.
The Brewers winning is business as usual. Is Josh Jacobs showing up to the OTAs yesterday business as usual, according to Matt LaFleur?
I think it's a poor choice of words. I don't know the context of how he said it, but when I heard it, I was like,
he said it like that.
He just said, hey, business as usual. I understand what he's saying is kind of what we talked about. Like, look, there's no charges. Like, I understand. So we just have to be business as usual. But there also has to be sort of an empathetic tone that is missing there. You know, you got to like sentence before, like, I understand how the optics to many within the building, we're just trying to be business as usual. That's it. Right. So it's not as much the sentence as much as the surrounding sentences and the lack of empathetic tone.
So, DG, obviously we talked about this a lot when you were on with us last week, and we questioned, will he be back? Will they bring him back? What do they do? They decided to bring him back. What happens next for this team? Do you think that there was some conversation in Green Bay between the organization and maybe the district attorney that went, all right, we feel confident we can move on from this? Is this over as far as the Green Bay Packers are concerned?
Do I think they talk to the DA or to people investigating? Yes, I think you have to. You have to. Here's the way. Again, it works for me. It's in my life, and I'm guaranteed it works for the Packers. No surprises, right? Like we can't put this guy out there, and then all of a sudden, whoa, hold on. There's a smoking gun out there that's going to make look really, really bad. So there's absolutely part of the organization has to have done due diligence, and your due diligence isn't, well, I talked to his attorney and he said he's good, so he's good, right? Like, no, you got to really know what's going on. Do I think that means it's over? I have no idea, Josh. It'd be totally unfair. All I can tell you is I think the Packers are operating. I guarantee they've talked to some people. They couldn't be putting them out there if they didn't feel some level of confidence that this is not going to be a massive issue moving forward. But I don't know that. But I can only guess. Like, you're talking about a community-owned NFL team, arguably the biggest, most popular NFL team in the country. You can't throw a dude out there unless you know or have a really strong feeling that this is going to end up with some sort of, probably not positive outcome, but at least a neutral to slight loss. They can't put him out there if they have any sort of bad background data.
And that sounded like the message coming out of the locker room yesterday when guys like Jordan Love and Xavier McKinney, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed all had a comment on what was going on. And it was, we're going to keep the details to ourselves and we have his back. Xavier McKinney had a bit of a bad choice of words, though, and said, quote, we understand that things happen. Things like this may or may not, they don't happen. At least not to, no, that doesn't happen. So if you were the coach and you trained your players on what to say to the media, it seemed like they weren't necessarily all saying the same thing. What should they have said?
I mean, you're probably best to say nothing, unfortunately, because this is what happens is we parse their words, parse their words. I mean, even the business as usual, like we're parsing his words, and I understand like that's part of the job of the head coach. But what's the best thing to say? Hey, he's our teammate. We support him. Obviously, we also, I mean, you probably should, when you coach them, probably should say, hey, we support, we don't want anything to happen negatively to women. You know, I mean, just that should be part of it. You know, like we're vehemently opposed to any sort of domestic violence on any level. In this particular instance, like all we can do is support the guy that we know and hope that there's a positive resolution, right? But again, I've been speaking to the media in the media for 30 years, and that's what I came up with. I think some of these guys, even when you train them, they don't mean anything by it. They just want to say the most neutral thing, but it gets to Josh as, "Hey, he's got your back," and not sounding like a DB in the meantime.
So the fact that they did let the players talk, though, right? They didn't obviously. Jacobs was not allowed to address the media, which that makes the most sense, right? He can't say anything until there's more of a final word from the DA and that's come out. But do you truly believe, DG, that this is now, as far as the Packers are concerned, any idea of them needing to go get another running back that can be taken off of Goody's plate?
I'm sure they have a contingency plan. You know, and the one thing you can find is a running back on the market. Right? Again, maybe not perfect, but you can find somebody. But like they're not throwing him out there unless they have some sort of. If it's bad, he wouldn't be anywhere near the team. Again, doesn't mean that it's good, but they got to have some sort of feeling of a resolution to it, or it's not going to be a thing. Otherwise, it just looks terrible every time he's in a Packer uniform. But yeah, you have to have. I mean, there's the old Josh. I don't know if you've heard this in basketball, in professional basketball. They say 4 groups of 5, right? 4 groups of 5. 5 guys on the floor, 5 guys on the bench to replace the 5 guys on the floor. You got 5 guys on the bus to replace the 5 guys you want to get rid of, and then you got 5 names in the top of your drawer to replace the 5 guys that you're sending on the bus, right? You always have to have a plan. And I know no question that Gooney has not just on the roster, but I'm sure, hey, if things go bad and we got to get rid of him, what's our contingency plan? That's your job in the front office. But the fact that they're putting him out there does lead you to believe that they think they'll have him during the season. That'd be my guess. Because otherwise, like it's OTAs. Like what's actually the point?
Right.
You know, what's actually
exactly.
The point?
Doug Gottlieb on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Have you been to the Sphere in Vegas?
Yes.
What'd you see?
You too.
Yeah. Would you rather see Metallica at the Sphere or the Backstreet Boys?
Metallica.
Ah, yeah, totally agree. Mm-hmm.
Trevor's going to see the Backstreet Boys.
There's because I'm a dude. I don't know. I mean, also my daughter Grace would love it. Whereas there's no like Backstreet. Now listen, Backstreet Boys. If you're like single in your like me, if I was like looking for. Yeah, I don't know. I do understand the cougar chase.
You're trying
the cougar chase that some dudes might be on because you go there and it's just all women, right? It's a target-rich environment. But the other part is they're not actually there to see you. They're there to kind of relive their fantasies about the Backstreet Boys in the 90s.
I'm going back for the second time in August. The second time.
To see the Backstreet Boys. I've seen the Backstreet Boys.
Wait. You're going because you want to see the Backstreet Boys? Or because you're married. Like, what? Why do you want to go see the Backstreet Boys?
Because we're both going. I grew up in the TRL era. It was me and Carson Daly every day. And Eminem and NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and Limp Bizkit and maybe Blink-182.
Yes, and yes, and yes.
It was amazing. It was. I saw you two at the Sphere. It was incredible. That was for Amanda. This is backwards, I know. I want to go see them. It was incredible. It was the best concert I've ever been to. One of our dear friends and family that has never seen them is going with us. It's going to be a blast. Blast. Would you rather stay on the Strip or downtown?
Downtown?
Downtown, like the old, where Circa is.
I honestly haven't been downtown in years, but I am very much a hotel snob. To me, like Vegas hotel, pay the extra money, stay in a nice room. I don't care where it's located.
That's fair.
Josh, any would you rathers on your end?
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask him, but now I'm questioning this whole thing about just the age gap with Backstreet Boys. Because again, I'm with Trevor on this. Like, I'm a millennial. Like, I also grew up with the Backstreet Boys. My wife and I went to Summerfest to see the Backstreet Boys. That being said, I would totally rather see Metallica in the Sphere. Like, that just seems like it would be a kick-ass show to see in that venue.
I think Metallica is going to be incredible. And if we're simply comparing ticket prices, I can get into the Backstreet Boys on the floor for $300. I can't even look at the Sphere for Metallica for less than $3,000, I think.
Yeah.
We got him back. DG, before we let you go, it's okay. You froze there for a second. I think you're home. For those watching on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, can you give us the view out the back?
Yeah, my problem is the connection. I was trying to do the Wi-Fi thing, but if you like, I mean, it's so cool. So can I tell you? Can I tell you the story real quick?
Please.
Okay, so I got the job. Was it May 15th? And literally slept in the office first couple of days. And I got up, and all I knew, I'd been in Green Bay for 2 days, 3 days, and one day previously, I had I had met with Josh when they hired Sonny, right? But it was March 1st, middle of the night, clandestine, right? Snow going sideways. So instead of taking a left on Nicolay to head back to downtown where I was staying, I took a right, and I found a little cottage on the water that was just gone for sale. And I went back to the water, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta live on the water. I gotta do this." So that house, we bid out. Robin Beatty's my realtor, and the other side was very squirrely, and we ended up letting it go. So I was like devastated. We started looking at other stuff. I mean, did I really need a house? Probably not, but I wanted a place to players to come, my kids to come over to in the summer, all those other things. So a couple weeks later, this popped open, literally walked in the backyard and said, "I'll take it." And that's why.
Ridiculous. Look at that,
great.
Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So great.
Do you have you don't have a boat yet, do you?
No, so I have a couple jet skis, which, by the way, I'm going up to seminars to go get out of storage today.
Nice.
And then both
Next
my
week's
neighbors
hit
have
from a jet ski,
pontoons,
yeah.
and a dear friend of mine. So we're trying to, if anybody, like this dock thing is crazy. So we reinstalled my dock, but I need to extend it. If there's any dock guys out there, my guy Adam Henderson wants to put a tri-tune right there. So I need to get my dock thing.
I think there's medication for extending your dock. I think we can get you hooked up with some.
But the problem is, if your dock extends for more than 4 hours, you have to call a doctor to worry about your extended dock.
Lightning and the thunder. Lightning.
Hey, Josh is on a good one today.
Yeah, I'm this is what I do. You know, this is what I do.
I mean, the hat and shirt combo. He's coordinating, and then
Always.
Two great lines.
Yep, that's why they pay me the medium bucks.
By the way, last thing, like Giannis is not going to the Thunder. Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Is he going to Miami?
Breaking news.
I think it's going to come down to Orlando. Miami would be my guess. Orlando's probably got better assets. So, and I'm sure Josh will come up with some assets joke or whatever. But
yep,
I do think that they have better assets, and he's their new coach was a Bucks assistant. I think they're pretty close to whatever. I just the whole Thunder thing, like, yeah, the Thunder have picks, and the Thunder want to take that next step, but like he doesn't work with Shea. Like, they both dominate the ball, score in the lane. Like, that doesn't work. I don't think.
On that note, super excited for Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight in San Antonio against the Knicks.
Wemby is. I mean,
he's not watching, DG. He's not going to watch, so it doesn't matter.
What
Dude, did you see Game 1 of the NHL Final last night?
You mean the Stanley Cup Final?
The NHL Finals.
Stanley Cup Final. Thank you, Josh. He's just the radio professor. That's 3.
The NHL Finals.
Shut up. Hey, happy Wednesday.
It's the Stanley Cup Finals.
The finals in the NHL. I know it's the Stanley Cup Final.
No.
Comparing NBA to NHL.
Yeah. No. Don't try and skate on that. Skate on that one.
Oh, skate on that. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
He's ready.
Goodbye.
Gotta go to break.
Thanks, Doug.
Pay the bills. Doug Gottlieb on Inside Wisconsin Sports. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline. Powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I hear that.
Do you?
I can lip sync it if you want me to.
I don't.
My wife texted me and said, "This is not an Amanda concert. This is a Trevor concert. We'll be back. Crank it."
The Queen of Spice is heating up breakfast at Wendy's with new items like their jalapeno sausage, egg and cheese biscuit, the jalapeno bacon, egg and cheese biscuit, and a spicy side twist of jalapeno bacon seasoned potatoes. It's available for a limited time, so get a bite while you can and spice up your morning at Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. And joining us now as we cross over with our friends from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. Hey, look at there. Long time no see. Rami Makloff.
Morning, boys.
All right, man. Do we sell the farm and get Scooble, or do we pass on that on a Would You Rather Wednesday and just roll the dice with the farm? There's many an opinion on this, on whether we need pitching or a bat, or do we do anything, or what do you think?
They need a bat more than they need pitching. And we've done this. We've done this extensively on the 9 to noon program. Yep. We'll probably talk about it some more today. We actually have a trade proposal from MLB Network of what a Tarek Skubal to the Brewers trade would look like, and we'll throw that out to the listeners and see if they would make that deal. They need a bat more than they need an arm. Obviously,
why do you say that? Why, is it obvious? Why do you say that?
Because the bottom third of the lineup has been suspect, and when you're a team like the Brewers who play the style of offense that the Brewers do, where you need to string together 6 and 8 batter rallies to scratch across 3 or 4 runs because you don't hit a lot of home runs, that a bottom third of your order that is not productive can absolutely kill you. If 1 or 2 guys in the top 6 go cold, this whole Brewers offense could go cold very, very fast. So I do think they need a bat more than they need pitching. But the question is, what bats are even going to be out there?
I was just going to ask.
We were going over this yesterday on the show, and we don't know who's going to be buyers and who's going to be sellers right now. But the teams that look like sellers right now, you look at the left side of their infield, and they're either players that you don't want or wouldn't be vast improvements on what you got there now, or they're players that are very expensive and under contract through like somewhere between 2030 and 2033. And that's just not something that the Brewers are going to do, invest that kind of money in somebody that they trade for in a long-term deal. So now the question becomes, of your options that are available to you, what is your best avenue or your best route to improve your team and give yourself the best chance you can possibly give them in October? And I think Tarek Skubal, as we sit here today on 2 months to the day before the MLB trade deadline, I think Tarek Skubal or another like top of the rotation type of arm is probably the best you can do to improve this team. And you're asking, Trevor, like what would be better to go to, bring up the farm or sell the farm? And the Brewers farm system is so deep, you could literally do both, especially when you look at what they got up the middle and at third base, up and down, throughout from single A to triple A. They got guys that are coming up that they have high hopes and high expectations for. So you could trade some of those lower level guys for a Tarek Skubal type of arm. And then if you still need a bat at shortstop and third base, you could bring up a Cooper Pratt or one of these other guys that's close to being ready for Major League Baseball.
That, I think, is the ticket right there. I think if we have the chance to go get an arm like Skubal and bring up the bats that we have to play on the left side of the infield, look out.
Yeah.
I think we have a decent idea of what's coming up from 9 to noon, but anything else?
Yeah, we got plenty to talk about today. We will talk about the ridiculous run that Kyle Harrison continues to be on. We'll throw that Skubal trade out at you. Also, we're going to hear from some of the folks up in Green Bay at OTAs yesterday and our thoughts on that. And we've been trying to get to this for a couple days and just haven't been able to. Tom Brady said something over the weekend that pissed John Kuhn off and a lot of other people in the football world. So we'll try and finally get to that today. I've been teasing it for 2 straight days now. We'll try and actually get to it today.
You have my attention. Stay tuned. 9 to noon. John Kuhn, Rami Makloff up next on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Our thanks to Doug Gottlieb for joining us every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Let us pray. Hashtag let us pray. All of you knocked it out of the park today on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. We'll be back tomorrow live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We'll be back tomorrow because
we're not done yet.
Yeah, that.